Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. Welcome back to our channel. We are two Colorado natives, Hallie and Lauren, and today we are going to talk to you about what it's really like living in winter in Denver.
Yes, but it's actually like not the things you can look up online.
You can Google some things, but we've lived here our whole lives, so we have some tips and tricks and things to be aware of. All right. So number one, well, the thing about winter in Colorado, so winter, technically starts on December 21st, technically. But winter in Colorado is really like the last week of October, honestly, through May 15th-ish on it, And we even sometimes get snow in September. We do. It can happen. It's kind of rare, but it does happen. Yes. And by the last week of October, I mean, all the leaves are off the trees. Everything is dead. Everything is brown. It's cold. She's really selling us right now. Well, okay. And we are Denver natives. So like I have heard that like winters in other states, like humid states or like on the East Coast are way, way worse than our winters here in Denver, which it is true. It is true. Like the winters, I guess, overall are fairly mild, but it's just such a contrast from the summer life here. Yeah, in Denver, I think. Yeah. And I'm just a summer girl.
You are a summer girl.
I look like I'm trying. No. She's bringing the brightness to winter. They're bright pink beanie. But so really, like it's dead out. It's dead out. Yeah. I mean, the trees, it's not as pretty. Yeah. And it's cold. It's dark. So it gets dark at 4:30 p.m. And the sun doesn't come up until, 7 and after 7 in these super short months. Yes. So typically we have maybe roughly 9.5 hours of solid daylight in the winter. That's right. But on the flip side of that, now that can sound really dark and dreary, but the beautiful thing about Colorado is you don't get this sense of like gloom and doom here in the wintertime. We typically and usually are one of the sunniest states in the entire United States. We do get 300 days of sunshine. We do. And we actually have more sunnier days, I should say, than Florida does, which is interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Florida.
We're behind Nevada. We're behind Arizona.
Sunshine state.
We actually get typically a few more sunnier days than Florida does, which is weird. We get more than Utah, and the sun is nice. It is nice. In the wintertime, it does get cold though. Yes. And even if it's sunny out, like it is really sunny out today. Yeah. But I still don't want to go sit out there. Yeah. Like it's chilly. I mean, it can be 10 degrees. Yes. And bright and sunny. You need sunglasses. Yeah. But it'll be 10 degrees. You can always predict with Colorado weather that it's going to be unpredictable. That too. Okay. It will be absolutely freezing outside, but the sun will be light and bright. Like right now,
it looks like it could be 60 degrees out there, but
it's like a solid 42. Which isn't bad. It's not. It's actually pretty warm for us anyway. Yeah. But yeah, your average snowfall. So a lot of people think, around Christmas time, isn't that great to live in Colorado and you get a really snowy, beautiful Christmas? Yeah. We actually don't typically have snowy Christmases. Once in a while, a lot. Yeah, it's very limited snow. Yeah, and so crazy fact number 2 is Colorado actually gets its heaviest and most amount of snowfall in March and April. March and April are Colorado's snowiest months. Yeah, you wouldn't think that, right? The rest of, December, January, February, we do get snow, don't get me wrong. We get snow, but the heavy, big snow is in March. Yes. April. Yes. It definitely tends to pile up. So, and the reason for that is, so the sun loses 25% of its energy going into like December. Yeah. And then it starts to get the energy back in the spring, right? So when it's really, really cold, it actually can't snow as heavy, right? The snow doesn't have as much moisture in it, so it can't be as heavy. Right. So if it's really, really cold, you're not going to get a lot of snow. It's when it's kind of in the middle, that you get the really, really heavy snow. Yes. And my dad always used to talk, like a March snow is different than a December snow. Oh yeah. It's way wetter, way slushier.
the roads are going to be way scarier.
Yes, which kind of goes into our tip number 3. It's not, if you've never driven in snow or you've never lived in snow, it's not the snow necessarily that you need to be worried about. It's the ice. So
Like
the slush.
if the snow's really heavy, it's not necessarily the ice too. If it's a heavy wet snow, your car's gonna get stuck.
Yes. It slips and moves, and it can be really dangerous out there, and if you've seen some of our other videos, we're big believers on those 4-wheel drive cars. You don't need a 4-wheel drive car, but truly
In Denver, okay, if you're gonna stay in Denver proper, like you can probably manage with a front wheel drive car.
Yeah.
And good snow tires.
Yes.
But actually I-70 now has a chain and
enforcement.
4-wheel drive. You either have to have 4-wheel drive or chains to drive on I-70 in certain weather conditions. You can literally get pulled over and you will get a ticket if you don't have that. So
I mean business here with their snow drive.
well, because it can be really dangerous. Like if you get stopped on I-70, you get stuck. You're causing a hazard for drivers.
Yes.
So I would recommend. And they make. All cars have all-wheel drive now. I feel
Most do. I feel like
have that option.
I'm not a car buff like you are, but
they have that option. Like it's really weird if you don't have all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is different than 4-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is fine. I've actually, fun fact, I've lived here, all my life. I've never bought snow tires.
I haven't either, actually.
I just have always driven an all-wheel drive vehicle.
Same.
I used to drive a Subaru, for years. The classic Colorado Subaru.
It really is.
Then I had to upgrade. But still all-wheel drive. No snow tires.
Right.
And I do all right.
And, another typical thing, a lot of people think living in snowy climate that there's going to be salt everywhere, that, the state kind of always puts down salt.
Actually in the East Coast, they put down
a lot of salt. Utah actually does a lot of salt. I lived there for 2 years.
Okay.
They do a lot of salt there. We actually have gravel here.
Colorado only uses gravel. To the plows and everything come and drop gravel on the snow and the ice to give you traction on the roads. And this is a lot better because, the salt's really bad for, your car. It causes a lot of damage. The gravel doesn't. However, the problem with the gravel is 2 days after it snows, the snow is gone. The gravel is still there on the road. So be careful. They do, they clean it.
They do.
It gets off the roads eventually, but a couple days after snow, there's still going to be gravel on the roads. So that will then cause driving issues that you need to be aware of.
Right. Fun fact, Halloween, we typically get snow. I feel like it's always freezing on Halloween. It's typically around like 30 degrees, but we do get snow around Halloween time, and you don't want people slipping and sliding on your driveway or your front porch steps in the winter. So when you have little trick-or-treaters coming up to your door, you don't want ice right there. My mom told me that kitty litter would be great to melt the snow and keep people from slipping. And it does do the trick. Kitty litter does melt the ice, but it stains your floors horribly. So keep that in mind.
Yes, gravel is best.
Gravel is best, yes, for salt. That ice melt works really great too.
So fun facts about Colorado driving.
So I guess we can go into our point number 4 then, which would be the population in the state kind of almost goes into with that lower energy with the sun.
So
The population loses its energy, kind of hibernate.
You can call us higher state. Like obviously we don't lose, population. Our numbers of population doesn't go down.
Right.
But I would say like starting even in September, restaurants and places close earlier. Like they actually, even in Denver, they have, a lot of restaurants will have summer hours and winter hours. And they close early. We're talking like 8 or 9. Maybe even 7. Some of the areas. But people just, the energy is different. People just don't go out as much. As they do in the summer months. Well, it'd be a darkness thing.
It's a dark.
I don't. The sun goes down and I'm not going anywhere.
She's not a fan if there's no sun out.
I'm like,
try and get her out.
It's 4:30. I could still go to the grocery store. I'm like, oh no, it's dark. Time for me to go home.
It's true. But the other thing is too, when we talked about ice on the roads is a really big problem here. So early in the morning, and then when it gets dark at 4:30, people typically in Colorado don't want to be on the roads because of that fear of it getting too cold with no sun out. And they don't want to be slipping and sliding everywhere on the ice. So a lot of people just tend to stay indoors and not drive during those times.
Yeah, there's not as much going on. Summer has just a different energy.
Definitely.
Different, feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's still some fun things to do, but it's different. Things are slower. Things slow down.
It needs to be slow.
Colorado's very seasonal. A lot of industries and jobs and things are very, very seasonal here. There's a lot more, job opportunities for kids and things in the summertime than in the winter.
Definitely. And we really do feel those seasons. We don't just go from like hot to cold. It really does taper off.
Yes, it does.
So
I would say fall is shorter.
Fall is very short
in Colorado. It is very pretty, very pretty. The leaves and stuff are very pretty. It's just a shorter window that you get to enjoy it before the snow comes and brings it all. And then springtime, like I said, like winter, we call it Colorado winter. When the spring's like March 21st, I believe.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
But we can still, like that one, we got 5 feet of snow. Yeah. In the middle of March one year. Yeah. It was awful.
Yeah. It's crazy. And a rule of thumb when you live in Colorado, if you're a big gardener, you never plant anything until after Mother's Day, because we typically do tend to see really, really frigid drops in temperature or snow.
Yeah. So, and actually my dad, we grew up in the mountains and he had to plow the driveway. He would never even take the plow off his plow truck until after May 15th.
Yep.
As a general, no matter how nice
general rule,
it could have been 70 degrees, 75 degrees on May 10th.
Yep.
But he would wait because he would know the next day it could snow.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. And we've even gotten snow. I remember it was Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. And it was snowing. Yeah. It was freezing, snowing, right?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's mad.
Or up in the mountains, actually. I remember I ran a half marathon.
Yeah.
Up, it did start at Loveland Ski Area. It was snowing in the middle of June. Yeah. It was 19 degrees and it was snowing in the middle of June. I was real grouchy.
But that's the unpredictability of Colorado. It's such a good point. And truly, even in the dead of winter, I mean, we're in the end of November currently, and we literally can sometimes have 60, 70 degree days.
Yes. Just last week, I was walking around and I was hot.
Yes.
I was pissed off that I had worn pants. Yeah. Because I was too hot.
It's so hot.
Walking around outside.
And then the next day, it'll be 28 degrees. Right. If you like that kind of change, I mean, it keeps me on my toes. So I don't mind it.
It's way more optimistic about it.
You could just tell by Hallie's face, winter is not her jam. So, no, it's okay, done. Well, and then into our point number 5, let's talk about north-facing and south-facing driveways.
Yes.
This is a fun one, you guys.
I mean, everyone talks about it, but it really, you don't realize it until you have a north-facing driveway.
Yes.
Don't realize it until you're really sad that you chose that.
Yeah.
You don't think it's a big deal
until you live in it, and then you see.
I mean, you spend so much more time shoveling. Yes. And the problem is if you don't shovel it and you let it pile up, it will sit there.
Yes. Turns into straight black ice.
Yeah, because in Colorado, your house, if it's facing north, the sun doesn't get high enough to actually melt it. So it will pile up. Yeah, all winter. Yep. You can have an icy driveway for,
it's a down trap
from November until May. Yes, if you don't keep up with it. So that's a serious thing. And I actually read somewhere that houses with south-facing driveways can sell for as much as 10% more.
Not surprised by that.
And one with a north-facing driveway.
That's interesting. I see it though. Like I watch my husband out there on, like blizzard mornings. He's shoveling away at our driveway. We have a north-facing driveway, so we don't all, die out when we're walking on it. But then our neighbors across the street with the south-facing driveways, they don't never touch it. They don't shovel. They don't snow plow it. The sun does all the work for them, melts it away. And they just stay nice and cozy inside their houses. So fun fact.
Good times.
It's a great time.
By the way, we are licensed real estate agents in the state of Colorado. So we do love making these videos for you, letting you know all our insider tips on what it's like to live here.
Yes.
And we would love to help you with any of your real estate needs. If you're moving here, thinking about moving here, we'd love to show you around. You can call us at our number or email. You always get one of us. Yeah. And they'd love to hear from you.
Yes. Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. We'll find you south-facing.
We'll do our best.
driveway.
Although both of us currently have north-facing driveways, but hers is heated, so she's lucky.
I'm spoiled.
Don't tell my husband.
Well, I don't have a husband. I gotta have a heated driveway. Okay.
She can't be out there plowing it. It's
No.
just it's not a thing.
So another thing about Colorado is everyone knows it's super dry here, and the winter makes it worse. It is really, really dry here in the winter. I mean, to the point where, your hands will be cracky. Yes. And chapstick is always a must.
My lips crack a lot.
Yeah.
In the winter.
It's very dry. And another thing maybe people don't think about is I actually have exercise-induced asthma. And I can breathe much better in the summer months when it's warm out. When it gets cold out, I have way more asthma problems and asthma attacks.
Yeah.
So if you do have that kind of breathing problems, it is much, much harder.
The winter.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But the dry, cold air is much harder on.
It affects your lungs differently.
Yeah, with respiratory or lung issues. And I'm actually, I run half marathons pretty regularly. I'm in pretty good cardiovascular shape.
Yeah.
The winter gets me.
Yes. Yeah.
It's good.
I feel like I have to use a moisturizer kind of on my legs and my hands. Just more in the winter. Your skin just feels a little bit more irritated. It's just drier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many wonderful things.
So many great things.
We love Colorado. Don't get us wrong.
We do.
But be prepared.
Just
like
be prepared.
I know a lot of people come here and move here, or they especially, everyone wants to live up higher in the mountains, and then they spend one winter and they're like, oh yeah, this is not what
This is the real deal.
Another thing I read was Colorado is actually one of the highest states for heating bills for your energy costs, which I guess makes sense. But
We do get cold days here.
yeah, I mean,
It's not surprising. We have a lot of sun out, but
it is
cold.
Yeah.
It is cold. One of our last facts we can talk about is if you're into skiing and snowboarding, the ski resorts typically open towards the end of November or early December. So I just went to Keystone and skied for the first time in 20 years. And Keystone has 140 trails available, but in the very end of November, only 10 of them are open when we were there. So yeah, the snow's not great
until I would say like late December.
Yeah.
And prime time is, January, February.
Right.
And that goes back to, the sun and it losing its energy. So when the sun loses its energy, it's darker longer. So the snow really sticks to the ground in December, January, February.
Right.
Like if it snows in those months, it can sometimes take a long time. Like last year, it snowed in December and that stuff did not melt until March, I feel.
Yes.
It was on the ground forever.
Yep.
Because the sun just doesn't have enough power to melt it.
Right.
And there's not enough daylight hours.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
now, and then the flip side of that is like March and April to me are not nearly as sad.
A better way to put it.
As, even though they're the snowiest months,
Yeah.
they're not as sad because it can literally snow a foot one day, and I'm not kidding, it'll be melted
Yep.
by the next day.
Yeah.
It'll be gone.
Yep.
So, because the sun is so much stronger.
Yep.
And the snow in those months is wetter, so it's actually more water, and it just melts way quicker.
It does. It does. So yeah, going skiing or snowboarding right now at the end of November, there's just a lot of ice out there. It's really it's not billowy. It doesn't feel great. You fall a lot.
Yeah, and then and starting in, especially in April, the snow up in the ski areas, because it melts.
Right.
It's icy on the top.
Right.
And it's not really good snow.
Yeah.
And then the ski season's over. I mean, they all close by the first week of May.
Yep. So you will find most ski resorts are open around, end of November, early December.
That's a fun time to go because it's a cool thing to do in Colorado.
It really is.
You can ski and snowboard in your bikini top.
It's a great time. And there's no one out there. I was there and it was literally empty. I mean,
Yeah, in the beginning and end of the season.
Yeah.
It was crowded.
Breckenridge, I believe, has 187 trails and I think only 14 runs, and they're only open, right now. I think there's only 14.
They don't fully open until another month or two.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
But man, that's winter in Colorado.
Yeah. If you guys ever want to come check out Colorado or come see some houses, any real estate needs, please feel free to reach out to us at our number or email listed below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you guys joining us, and we hope to see you next time. Yeah.